Yamaha's sporty FZ-09 is a home run for the tuning fork brand. But it's not resting on its laurels, instead choosing to release an enhanced version for 2017, only 3 years after it first arrived on showroom floors. Considering the solid platform, engineers didn't have to do too much to transform a good bike into an excellent one.
(2017) Yamaha FZ-09. The 2017 FZ-09, this thing has been a smash hit for Yamaha. It originally came out in 2014, and Yamaha sold a ton of them, but there was some bugs on the bike. Yes, it was great. Yes, the price was awesome. Yes, the 847cc inline 3 engine is incredible, but the suspension was a little bit too softly sprung, too novice orientated. The throttle was a little bit glitchy on that thing, and thankfully for 3 years after that bike came out, Yamaha has fixed every single problem and even exceeded and gone beyond that and updated the styling, updated some of the creature comforts, added traction control and ABS. And what's there not to love? Like this FZ-09 is just, it's a fantastic street bike. My God, it is so fun to ride. The engine on this thing, this inline 3 with the cross plane enabled crankshaft, this thing is just, it rips. Like, look how much power it has. It just does wheelies on command. It has so much torque at all RPMs. You can lug the thing, you can rev the thing, and there's just power everywhere. And not only is there power everywhere, but there's like no engine vibration. The thing purrs like a kitten. It's unbelievable. If that wasn't good enough, and wait, there's more. Just the sound of this bike, my God, this thing sounds so cool. Another European manufacturer has been loved for its inline 3 engine configuration because of the sound, the character, and I'm telling you, this Yamaha power plant will give that thing a run for its money. It kicks butt. It's so awesome. And that's why I like riding this bike, because it's so playful. It's just a fun little sporty bike. Yamaha, they updated the suspension on this thing, and the original 2014 FZ-09 is a little bit too soft for my liking, a little bit too pogo sticky. And this thing, they added considerable compression damping to it, and it holds up a lot better when you're on the brakes real hard like this. It just kind of holds up in the stroke a lot better. It's a lot more apt at sport riding now. The suspension still isn't as hardcore sport as the XSR 900. That stuff it's real supportive, a little bit firmer, real good for really going fast on. This stuff's still a little bit more friendly for around town riding, but it's a good compromise. I personally prefer the XSR 900 suspension a little bit, but for around town, this thing gets it done. It goes over the bumps well. We were riding in the freeway a little bit ago, and there's some bumpy stretches there, and the suspension kind of filtered out all those bumps and made for a real comfortable ride. I was really surprised how comfortable this bike is. Of course the smooth engine definitely plays into that. The comfortable ergonomics. This handlebar, not only does this handlebar look cool, but man, it is so effective. It kind of lends itself to a more aggressive, elbows up kind of riding position, so you can kind of attack corners, which I like a lot, but yet it's not so aggressive that it's not comfortable on the street. It's really amazing that Yamaha was able to dial in something so simple as a handlebar bend so well. It is a great position to ride at. Yamaha added about 11 pounds to the motorcycle, with the addition of ABS You know, the original FZ-09 didn't have ABS. This thing does. The only probably complaint I have on the ABS is that you can't turn it off. You know, the European motorcycle manufacturers are always really good about putting adjustable ABS on the bike so you can disable it, you know, if you want to goof around and slide the back tire, you know, and skid and stuff like that. This thing you can't. ABS is always on. But again, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, we're riding here in Southern California in Malibu, and it's been raining a lot down here, and as you can see, there's a lot of dirt, a lot of debris on the road from the rain washing it down onto the pavement. And having ABS is a pretty good feature when you're riding these conditions. You know, you can grab a handful like that. You're not going to worry about the bike, you know, losing stability, locking up the front or back wheel. They're never going to lock up. You're always going to be moving forward, and you're always going to be stable. It's really hard to fault anything with the ABS. It works well, as do the brakes. You know, Brembo master cylinder, Advix monoblock calipers up front, 4-piston on each side, and this thing's got incredible stopping power. Yet the brakes aren't so aggressive, they're not so sport bikey that they're going to be hard to master. You know, I also really like the 5-way adjustment on the brake lever, so you can move the brake lever forward or aft, forward or out, based on how big your hands are. You know, I always like the brake lever real close to my fingertips so I can get it whenever I have to really quick, and it's just a great feature. Also, the addition of traction control. You know, right now I'm riding with traction control off, but it's great that Yamaha includes TC. There's 2 levels. Level 1 is the least restrictive setting. Level 2 is the little bit more restrictive setting. So if you're riding on really unfamiliar surfaces, or you know, or on really wet roads, level 2 might be a little bit better for you. You know, but if you're kind of getting after a little bit and you want to have a little less restrictive setting, traction control level 1's going to be for you. I like going man style and just doing traction control off, because then you can just do wheelies, you can kind of goof around a little bit. But it's cool that it's there, and it's cool that you can turn it on and adjust it and turn it off, all to your personal preference. Another cool feature that Yamaha added to this bike for the new year is just the new clutch mechanism. Now it's R1 sport bike, and some of its other more modern bikes are using this new clutch where when the engine's under load and accelerating, it actually pushes the clutch pack together. So theoretically, you know, the bike hooks up more and there's less chance of clutch slippage. And then conversely, when you're off the throttle like right now, it pushes the clutch pads apart, or the clutch plates apart, and allows for some slipper function. So let's say you're in 6th gear and you're downshifting pretty rapidly through the gearbox, and you downshift in too low of a gear. Well, that rear wheel chatter and that instability that you'd sometimes get, you won't get with this bike. That slipper clutch kind of filters that out. And you know, that stuff was all born really from racing and competition, but now it's really made its way to most any, you know, premium modern street bike, and it's just cool. It's cool tech. Another thing that's cool about this bike is the seating position. You know, I never really had that much complaints with the 2014 bike, but this seat's a little bit better now. They actually have lengthened it, so it's going to be more comfortable when you bring a passenger. The front bit right here has got a little bit more upward contour, so you're not kind of pitched so far forward. And you know, it works pretty good. You know, we've rode probably 80 miles today, and I'm comfortable. You know, my rear end isn't bothering me. Yeah, but for $8,000, for $9,000 for $8,999, yeah, this bike did gain, you know, 11 pounds. Yeah, it did gain $1,000 in the MSRP, but you're getting a lot more motorcycle for your money. The suspension's way more up to task when it comes to sport riding. You know, ABS is standard, as is traction control. You know, we didn't even talk about the front headlight yet. The front headlight's awesome. Yamaha actually incorporated 4 individual LEDs in the headlight. It went from 2 to 4, so basically doubled the amount of light that's available. And yeah, we haven't ridden this thing at night, but I just know that it's gonna, if you're riding at night, this headlight setup's gonna work real good. You know, and the other, not even the FZ-10 has the quad LED headlight yet. So, you know, not only does it look cool, not only does it look transformer-ish, it's gonna function real well if you're riding at night. Which, face it, you know, I'm riding a lot at night, especially when I'm at home. You know, I'm coming home late from work. You know, I'm riding at night. It's good to have a bright headlight to light up the pavement, so you're not gonna get yourself in harm's way. Sporting ability of this bike, like for a bike that costs $9,000, like it's crazy how much sport appeal this thing has. Like, look at it, it just does wheelies off the corner at command. I don't know a lot of other $9,000 street bikes that can do that, you know, stock out of the box. It's also cool how this bike comes with, you know, premium grade tires from Bridgestone. You know, the Bridgestone Batlax S20s that come on this thing, yeah, they're a couple years old. You know, Bridgestone has a successor to that they released last spring called the S21. And yeah, the S21 is a better tire, but still, like the S20, like it works great. You know, it's got a great profile, tremendous grip, quick warm-up times, you know, and the price is good. And it's cool that Yamaha, you know, is going with a premium set of rubber. I know some of the competition sometimes skips on the rubber and, you know, uses kind of lesser spec stuff, but these S20s are up for ripping. I'd have no problems or qualms riding this bike at the track and doing a track day on it. You know, yeah, the suspension probably a little bit soft and bouncy still, but you know, the good thing is this fork, you know, it used to have rebound damping, but now it has compression damping too. So compression's actually handled here on the left fork leg and rebounds here on the right. And as usual, the shock and has rebound and preload adjustment. So we have a special guest with us today on this Yamaha media ride, Mr. E650, and he's out here from Cleveland, Ohio.
Warning! Warning! You're looking at a wild man.
No.
Warning! Warning!
You're looking at Mr. Wheelie Monster right there. I'm just trying to keep up.
And this is his first Yamaha motorcycle press intro. So he's out here, he's vlogging, he's making a video for his channel. We're making a video for our channel, and it's all good. It's cool to meet him and hang out, and you know, he's a real enthusiast. You know, he has a lot of cool machinery, a lot of cool machines at home. You know, he's wailing with us here and riding real good and ripping, having a good time, and it's just cool. And that just kind of speaks volumes to how awesome the FZ-09 is. Like, everyone here has just got huge smiles on their face here. It's just so bad. Bad isn't good, I mean. This bike works so good out of the box that, you know, I'd pony up to $9,000, and there's really not a whole lot of things I'd change to this bike. Everything works so good. Thankfully, Yamaha offers some OE accessories in the form of a Yoshimura slip-on muffler that's even got a cool FZ-09 badge on it. They have some other cool, you know, styling pieces to kind of give your bike a custom look without it actually being custom. Like, all of Yamaha's OE accessories are warranted for 1 year. They don't void the warranty of the motorcycle. They're built with the same level of engineering and precision that it makes this motorcycle, so you know it's never going to break. You know you can ride this thing to hell and back and the wheels aren't going to fall off, and it's just cool. Now, as far as gear I'm wearing for this ride, I'm wearing a Alpine Stars kit. The jacket I'm wearing here is the T-Jaws jacket. Now, this is a textile riding jacket. There's also a tiny interior, or a thin interior, almost kind of like plastic or vinyl. It's not plastic or vinyl, but it's kind of that kind of material to kind of keep the heat in and the cold out. You know, on a chilly 58 degree, 55 degree morning, at least chilly for California people, morning, jacket was great, kept me warm. You know, when it gets a little bit warmer in the afternoon, you can remove the inner liner, you know, and it breathes pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't have maybe the protection of leather, but you know, I'll take it just how light this jacket is and how much it breathes. Those are all features that I value, you know, when I'm riding and I'm hustling the bike around the corners. To match that, I'm wearing Alpine Star's Warden jacket, or Warden glove, I'm sorry. And you know, this is a cool glove. You know, I like how the inside is all leather, the outside is this abrasion resistant textile material. It's got hard knuckles. You know, if after we ride here, you know, if we go into the bar, you know, if we do get in a fight, you know, I know that it won't be a big deal. Look how good this thing wheelies. Isn't that crazy? Like third gear, it just does wheelies, no problem. But, you know, I've never worn these gloves before until today. I put them on, size medium. They fit me great. No blisters, no discomfort, you know, good protection, a fair price. You really can't go wrong with these Warden gloves by Alpine Stars. Footwear wise today, I'm also wearing another Alpine Stars kit, Alpine Stars Overload today, and this is the WP Gunner boot, the WP Gunner boot. Now this boot's a little bit more sport touring-ish in terms of looks, not full sport touring, but a little bit more sport touring-ish. I generally like a little bit more of a sport boot, like the SMX, like those things that are kind of like my favorite. But I gotta say, this boot, like, it works really good. I got good tactile response on the footbed, like I can feel the bike real good, yet my feet aren't slipping off the pegs. The boot has a lot of support, you know, like the boot goes above your ankle. You know, I feel very safe in these boots. You know, the waterproof design, you know, when it was cool a little bit, you know, this morning my feet, even my feet right now, they're toasty, they're warm and toasty. That's probably the only one knock I have against the boot, is just it doesn't really flow air. But you know, that's what a good waterproof boot does. It keeps your tootsies warm and dry. And but if you're gonna ride in the summer or in hot weather conditions, you're probably gonna want more. Yes, you're gonna want probably a boot that vents a little bit more. God, this bike is so awesome. But for this chilly conditions where, you know, the skies looks like it might rain, this WP Gunner boot is definitely a good boot for me to be wearing right now. I do like it. It's really hard to find fault with this bike. Like, Yamaha's been on a roll lately. Like, everything they touch is just turning to gold. And it's cool to see that, you know, even this bike really doesn't have a lot of competition in the class, you know, and yet 3 years after they make it, they're already putting updates on it, they're already fixing it, you know, making it a better bike. And, you know, for $9,000, like, it's a good bike, don't get me wrong. Personally, I would probably go with the XSR 900. You know, it's a little bit more expensive, but I like its stiffer suspension. You know, I like the styling on that bike a little bit more. It's got that neoclassic look. But, you know, if you want to save, you know, a couple $100 and you want this more kind of modern, which is not classic at all, just modern styling and sport appeal with some actual practical comfort, this FZ-09 is the bike. And, you know, Yamaha is going to continue to sell every last one of these things. These things they're gems of bikes. They're a gem of a bike.